All right, so we're going to have to discuss the different parts of the sentence now. First, we're going to begin with the subject, and then we're going to begin with the predicate. So stay with me. The subject. The subject of the sentence tells who or what the sentence is about. We have the complete subject. I do this because it's like completing the whole thing, the whole picture. The complete subject is all the words in the subject part of the sentence. The single subject is the main word, which we know now is going to be noun or pronouns. And if you don't know your nouns and pronouns, then hopefully I have completed those videos and you can go and review them. We're going to talk about the compound subject in a little bit, so just forget about that for a second. We're just going to focus on the complete subject and the simple subject. Here we go. Here's an example. The girls on the team were all good students. Now I'm going to ask myself, who or what? Who or what was good students? The girls on the team. That's going to be our complete subject. Okay, that's the beginning part of the sentence, which usually the complete subject is in, but not always, and we're going to talk about that. It's before the verb. So we have the complete subject, the girls on the team. But if I have to ask you, give me one word that's going to sum up, right, who are good students, you have to give me only one word. Well, I can't say we're all good students. I can't say we're good students. So now I'm down to like two possibilities, the girls and team. Well, I wouldn't say team are good students. So I have to ask myself, who or what makes up a good student? And the only word that will fit in this sentence is girls. So girls, they are going to be our simple subject. All right? That's a brief overview about how subject works in a sentence. We're going to practice that a little bit more in a second. All right, so here are some sample sentences. I find that when we do sentences like this on the board, it helps with the understanding a little better. So let's see how you do. First sentence. The 4 talented musicians arrived early. Who or what arrived early? The 4 talented musicians. In parentheses, that's going to be our complete subject. Okay, going forward, I'm just going to write CS. This whole thing. 4 talented musicians arrived early. Now, if I'm going to say to you, I need one word, simple one. What is the one word that's going to tell me who arrived early? If I can only pick one, all right? Musicians. Musicians, that is our simple subject. Going forward is going to be SS. Okay, musicians arrived early. And that's it. Let's look at the second one. Harper Lee wrote To Kill a Mockingbird. Of course she did. Who or what wrote To Kill a Mockingbird? Now this one's a little bit tricky. I did that on purpose so you have an example of what this looks like. Sometimes your complete subject is going to be the same as your simple subject. And this is an example of that. Who wrote To Kill a Mockingbird? Harper Lee wrote To Kill a Mockingbird. Harper Lee is going to be our complete subject. She's also, it is a she, female, she's also going to be our simple subject. Okay? Next, the best player on the team is Alex. Who or what is Alex? Well, Alex is the best player on the team. That whole phrase is going to be the, complete subject. But now, if I say I only can have one word from the complete subject to be the simple subject, what word are you going to choose? What is Alex? Well, Alex is the best player, but I can only pick one word, so then I'm going to go with player, simple subject. Okay? Now, I told you that most of the time the complete subject comes before the verb, most of the time. But you know in the English language that you can't use the word always and you can't use the word never because there's always going to be an exception. Here's an exception we have, and I tell my students, pay attention when you're doing complete subject and complete predicate. Watch out for commas And watch out for question marks, and that's what we have next here. After the storm, many people were left homeless. Okay. Who or what was left homeless? Many people. So you're saying, but what about after the storm? Where does that go? After the storm is going to become part of the predicate because it's telling us when this happened, and that's going to be a signal, when we have the comma, that it's going to be on the predicate side of the sentence, which we're going to talk about soon. But for right now, we have the complete subject of this sentence is many people. Okay? Now, what is going to be the simple subject of this sentence? Who or what was left homeless? So the answer would be people would be our simple subject. People were left homeless. Then we have the last one. Oh my goodness, we have a question mark. And we have a question mark that often means there's going to be a verb. Part of the predicate is going to begin the sentence. You have to watch out for that. Are you hungry? Do you know the answer? Be careful when you see a verb starting something out. Here we go. Do the results of that test affect my grade? Well, of course they do, but that's not the issue here. Affect my grade? The results of that test. Okay? Do becomes part of the predicate. It's not going to become part of the complete subject that we have here, the results of that test. Now, more specifically, what's the one word that we are concerned about affecting the grade? One word, and don't say test, because test is part of a prepositional phrase. So we know that it's going to be results. Results is going to be our simple subject for this. Results affect my grade. Okay, and that's an example of complete and simple subjects.